Welcome, everyone. And today we have an extraordinary panel with Patty Greer, Free Range Gail of Gaia, and I'm Alfred Lambremont Webre. And today we're tackling something that, you can't avoid it. It's a hidden war. Wherever you turn around, it's there, but it's hidden against humanity, against nature, and against Mother Earth. And those are the deepest things that we can think of. Um, we'll go even deeper. It's a war against your soul, and it's a war against
Yes.
deity itself. But we'll start out with humanity, nature, and Mother Earth. Uh, Patty or Gail, do you want to start off in that direction?
Well, I've been in a crop circle mood
Yeah.
lately. I did a couple shows with Michael Jaco that had really great response, and I've gone kind of radio silent about crop circles for years, and I didn't realize how much people missed it until I came back. And I sold so many full collection sets, all my movies and music in one box. Like instead of selling one movie, everybody bought the whole collection. So I realized, good God, people are starving for crop circle information, then reading the comments. But as I looked at the crop circles, we're talking about Mother Earth. And ultimately, after 8 films, I learned that they're not coming from UFOs or aliens or military or whatever. They're coming from the Earth herself, which is so incredible because she's speaking in a language we all understand: art, pictograms, math, like flawless binary code that we could decipher as messages to humanity. And my focus was this century because, wow, if we listen to nothing but crop circles, turn off all the news, turn off all the conscious news, and go back to nature, which is what you're saying, the hidden war against humanity, nature, and Mother Earth. We're talking about nature and humanity. And here's Mother Earth herself sending literally crop circle messages constantly to the planet, to the people. It's not for the chair or the elephant, it's for those who can see it and say, wow, look at this information. And at the top of 2020, there was a crop circle of a VIRUS. And there was no doubt what it was. And it was right there, deliberate, early season, May, end of May. It was actually right after my no longer wedding anniversary, and at the end of the month. And so, oh no, I adore him. But I'm looking at the end of May, like it's before crop circles really arrived. This one needed to be seen, and there it was, this huge VIRUS looking crop circle. Wow, no, I'm not getting our show shut down. I know how to spell and point. So what I love is that the mother really has been consciously communicating with us. We just haven't chosen to listen. So I'm excited to be remembering probably one of the most beautiful chapters of my life, going in more than 100 crop circles because I decided to. And that reminds me of today. It's like, are we going to be scared to death of what could happen and all those things that I don't want to even come up with? Or are we going to choose to say, today, I'm going to eat chocolate, I'm going to put cream in my coffee, and I'm going to do something nice for the world? And I think that the three of us spend our time really sharing with the world. And that's, I think, about the biggest gift we can give right now.
Thank you, Patty. I learned from your film. I used to think that the crop circles were from galactics or what have you. I wasn't aware for the longest time that it was actually Mother Earth herself giving us that information, which is absolutely critical. And I would encourage anyone who hasn't seen your films to go to the crop circles free films and get educated about it, because it's absolutely fascinating to me that Mother Earth has been talking to us all along and we just haven't been listening. And just like some of the other things that are happening to humanity right now, that we have to be very careful how we speak about it. But these things are altering humanity in such a way that it wasn't the way the mother ever intended. It was done in a very, very wise manner, and warnings need to be heeded. And it's and that's not the only, it's affecting the planet in terms of the things that they want to use to be able to activate this, and it destroys mother nature's plants and trees and all kinds of things, and we need to step up and stop complying with things that are harmful to us and the planet.
And the children, oh my
Oh
God,
my God, yeah.
they can't speak for themselves.
Oh, it's just that's heartbreaking, absolutely heartbreaking.
Yeah, there's what comes up for me is that as soon as one says the hidden war against humanity, nature, and Mother Earth, you know that they've lost the war. Because how are they going to prevail against the power of the united power of humanity, the united power of nature, and the united power of Mother Earth? This planet in this solar system, which is an extremely impacted solar system, I mean, we could go back and review the history of just this solar system. There are two planets in this solar system which have survived. One is thriving, and that's the planet Venus, and that has a story onto itself. And that's kind of the big sister to everybody here, because they are way in the future, and they are like super futuristic. If you go to Venetian City, and I've had the privilege of interviewing people who've spent 6 weeks on Venus, and Venusians sent ambassadors here. There was an ambassador who to the administration of Dwight Eisenhower, who spent many, many months in the Pentagon, Valiant Thor. And all that is very, very well documented. And so the hidden war has to stay hidden, because essentially they're sneaks and cowards. And they can only hope to cause damage by faking, by false flags, by faking out. And so humanity, nature, and Mother Earth are so powerful. You had a very powerful program, didn't you, Gail, recently, where there's some evidence of radioactivity in British Columbia?
Oh, yes.
Could you share some of that with us?
Yes, there's it's all over. I mean, it's all over. It's in America as well as in Canada. If you look at some of the figures from even the EPA and the levels, they're devastating to humanity and the planet in general. And it's very disturbing. I might even have a picture. I don't know if I can make it share or not. Let me see.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can bring that up. Let me know if you see it.
It hasn't come through. As soon as it comes through, I can make it share if
Oh, okay.
you but
Maybe I
it
should send
it
it to
hasn't
you.
come through.
Maybe I'll send it.
It hasn't come through yet.
Okay. Let me send it. Let me put it in the chat. Maybe you can put it up. I haven't worked with this program enough to know exactly what. I haven't worked with this program very much to know exactly what I'm doing here. So let me see if I can send it to you.
Okay. But
In the meantime,
just to kind of share some of the data that came across in Free Range Gail of Gaia's program, she was interviewing Sergeant Patty Broussard, and who's a former weapons expert with the U.S. Armed Forces, and there. And in an interview that I did, the Geiger counters were getting Chernobyl level readings in British Columbia, not too far from here. That is, the radioactivity that was loose was Chernobyl level. And I interviewed a nurse Karen McDonald, and she was detailing people with radioactive illness symptoms, so that this is part of the hidden war against humanity, nature, and Mother Earth. And we just shared that. Some of that program more widely today, and we got some feedback from people in the US. And there was a colleague of ours who's in New England who came back saying that 3 of her siblings had heart palpitations, that they think it came from this radioactivity. Now, some of the theories about the radioactivity are that some unknown parties have detonated nuclear explosions in the deep underground bases, and that radioactivity is now infiltrating the waters in the water table in North America and is infiltrating the atmosphere. These are all theories, okay? There's nothing concrete. But what we did is today is we took our programs and our data and we sent it via email. We sent it via email to the IAEA, the International Atomic Energy Agency, which is the international agency that looks into nuclear energy. And we sent it to all of their offices worldwide to alert people, because it appears that there's a news blackout on this, so that we're not only dealing with whatever that V word was, but we're dealing with all of a sudden these environmental issues, where you have former experts from the U.S. Armed Forces coming forth, and you have nurses with Geiger counters. People can go to Exopolitics TV and you'll see her readings, and the readings that are coming up that she's holding are at the level of Chernobyl. And in Chernobyl, they had to evacuate everybody, and I think there was a high level of deaths. So that's why this is like, I don't know whether this is a systems breakdown or whether this is like it's sort of evil's last gasp. What do you think? Is this
Yes.
evil's last gasp?
I saw levels too in different cities on that particular video, and you can find it on Odyssey and Rumble, which are not censored. The other channels are censored, so I haven't put it.
I'm sorry, but I'm a truth teller, and I've had my stuff on Rumble taken down, so that I find that I had my entire BitChute channel shut down.
Wow.
So there is no uniform rule.
Right. I heard that about Rumble before, and so far so good with my channel
I
anyway.
know.
But
Listen, I think it's luck of the draw. However, the AI,
Mhm.
some of the people that work there are no longer human, so it's kind of the luck of the draw.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And certain algorithms, and numbers of followers and so on are all factored in. They anyway, what I was going to say is the show is, the free range with Patty Brazard Intel updates, and
Oh yeah.
we do look at a number of different cities and what the levels are. And I'm just outside of Phoenix, and the levels were outrageous. Now I tried to pull it up again, and I couldn't get the colored chart. I could only get one of the charts where you can't really tell as well. It may be, I don't know, it might be my not knowing exactly where to go, but I don't think that's it. They're hiding this, just like humanity has been lied to their entire life. And the media lies to us all the time. It's frequently the opposite of what they tell us. And it doesn't surprise me that they're hiding this right now, because it's very dangerous. It will activate different things that people have, chosen to follow on the program. And it's going to increase cancer rates and all kinds of problems. It's just absolutely horrific. I can't think of any other way to describe it. And I do, in that video as well, there is a chart that shows the common signs of radiation sickness and what happens and what you can expect. And, nausea, vomiting, that kind of thing is common. Also rashes, heat rashes, and so on. And anyway, it's a hidden war. It really is. But they've
Yeah.
already lost,
Yeah.
as far as I'm concerned. But in the
Yeah.
meantime, we're trying to get everybody awake to what's really going on.
And that's happening.
Exactly.
It's absolutely waking up the world. Every country has people like us whistleblowing. I started in 2013. I actually started in 2007 filming crop circles, but I didn't have the science until my final film in 2016, Crop Circle Diaries. And what happened to me in the beginning was when one of my movies hit PBS and they played it a lot, somebody didn't like me getting out to the world with this information, or they didn't like me. I don't know. Nobody told me why, but took over my website with this nasty message, which really applies today. They said, telling the truth in times of universal deceit is a revolutionary act. And then down there in the corner was George Orwell, and the quotes were backwards. Now, I'm not sure what that meant, but I don't think it was a compliment. And I was hacked like crazy from 2013 on. It was like a war, Amazon, Vimeo, YouTube. And now that I'm watching all these people that are out there now, full time, counting on it, it's like, oh God, I hope they don't. Look at that one. There's a suspended. And you can't make money on it. So what's it about? What's it about is why the three of us are here. We friggin' love people. We love the world. We love our pets, your pets. It's like I see the world through perhaps rainbow glasses because I still have total faith. And I really believe, because I already belong to not one, but two sacred patriot groups. And all of a sudden, it's like, oh my God, look at all these smart people. And everybody is somebody you can talk to. and you don't have to explain yourself. So how wonderful to be now seeing that there are new PMAs, private membership associations, whereas you can officially say through a contract that's easy to find online, I don't need to function with the system or interact with them at all because I'm an independent private membership organization. And so people now have to sign up and make an agreement to be whatever, loyal, as far as being honest in your facility. And then you don't have to do the things or do any of the things that they want you to do. But it doesn't mean they can't come in and spray the place with radiation. I mean, I don't know. We have such a silent war right now. And
Right.
even though I joked and said spray the place with radiation, Gail asked me today if I was willing to talk about my recent escape from radiation poisoning. And somebody was worried that I knew too much about them and decided to put a vial of uranium in my garage, knowing that I would be there going past it every time I went in and out of the garage, or was in the kitchen. It was right there on the other side. Anyway, I lost 25 pounds. I got really sick. And it wasn't until I was moving out that I saw this bottle that said carnotite uranium. It seemed like a normal guy. There wasn't anybody else who had access to the place, but it's like, no, he used to work in the uranium field, not uranium, but radiation that you guys are talking about. So he knew what he was doing, but like, I'm starting to think, wow, and as I was in the emergency room reporting it to the sheriffs, nothing happened. Like, how could, and I'm on 2 cameras for at least an hour with an IV in my arm after an ambulance ride. I mean, hell, total hell. And nothing mattered. Radiation didn't concern the Boulder County Sheriff's Department. Didn't concern them. Like, but here I am thinking, how dangerous, I'm lucky to be here. How did he get it to the house, my house? And like, hazmat suit driving, like, I don't know, you know what I'm saying? It's like, so radiation that we're talking about, it can also be Joe Blow down the street who's just not quite right in the head.
Right. That's just incredible story there, Patty. And I think that it's relevant to let people know what helped you.
Oh, well, since you
so
mentioned
true.
it, I happen to have a bottle right here. Something
I happen to have some too.
Wow, what a coincidence. I wonder if Alfred is onto it also. I'm kidding. Oh, yay.
Oh, yay. Okay.
This is what has kept me alive. I'm sure of it because, frankly, people that know me, and even doctors, I've had so many, shall we say, medical procedures because of bad people doing bad things and feeling good about it. It's like I'm amazed I'm still here, and I'm even more thankful. Speaking of Thanksgiving, every day I'm more thankful. By the way, Alfred is modeling our C60 Evo lip renewal balm right now. He's modeling it. It's so cute. We're all modeling our products. And what's nice and what brought the 3 of us together is C60 Evo, which is the by far leading product in the world because we own the lab that's been making C60 for 30 years, and we upgraded it to this new company having products that are pure, 100% pure C60, not 99 point, all these different numbers, but pure. And so we trademarked the Evolution, EVO, of the company, the C60 Evo, which is for evolution of the production process of making the cleanest C60 in the world, and it's called ESS60. So I'm sure there will be links below. Our company supports Alfred's work, and we support Gail's work, and both our links will be below. So whoever you think is like the coolest of those two, use their link to get your discount.
Right.
Well, Alfred's pretty cool, but I'm pretty. I could really use the help, but anyway,
Okay, well,
maybe
that
he
might
can well as well. But anyway,
yeah.
was
So as you make a purchase, you support your health and your deeper sleep, but you also support our influencers when you buy. And that's how the whole company works. We have found we've done different ads, even Coast to Coast Radio. I did a series of, I don't know, 9 weeks, and it was completely useless because unless there's a human truly saying, I use it, it's made a difference. And you can see, I'm looking at Alfred right now, who's almost 80. He talks about it, so it's okay that I say it. And I feel like you're talking and looking younger tonight than I've seen you in years.
Well, I mean, hey, uh, guess what? This is the thought that occurred to me as I was thinking about today's show, right? Today's topic is the hidden war against humanity, nature, and Mother Earth. Okay. Well, is it that they decided to have a war, or did they decide to war against the planet because they knew that we were coming here at the same time, or did we come here at the same time in order to save the planet? In other words, which came first? Did the bad guys come first, or did we come first, or did we both decide to come here and like have a battle on planet Earth? I'm talking about the science of the omniverse. I've written 3 books on the omniverse, which is this is like a play down here, and prior to incarnating, you actually have all this time where it's all set up, and a lot of thought goes into it. So is this hidden war, was this prepared so that the bad guys came first, or were we having a good time and then the bad guys decided to come in and spoil our fun? Or what are your thoughts?
I'm going for door number 2, because those of us who have been, shall we say, professional conspiracy theorists for decades,
yes,
not minutes, but decades, we know about Agenda 21. How many years ago did they plan that? We know about Project Mockingbird. Project Mockingbird. Project Mockingbird. Project Mockingbird. I mean, yo, baby. They're knocking it out of the park with the redundancy because it's Project Mockingbird. How many decades has that been planned? Now, the only one that happened and then boom exploded was that Event 201. I mean, all film. We are so right now, I think, inundated with too much information because they pulled too much SHIT. I'm speaking to children tonight with all this spelling. I apologize. And I guess the FACT checkers are needed to be treated this way because I want to be appropriate. Or would that be APP anyway? I honor the fact that we still have internet and that we can be out here in a really pretty shirt and underwear. I'm kidding. But it's like so easy to go online from your house, as long as you have, look behind you and have a nice, or at least a decent background, that we can say anything to the world still. So as much as we complain about, here the 3 of us are, open stage right now, live in a few places, and we're able to get to people. But the Aborigines that just put out an SOS from Australia.
Yes.
Breath.
Oh yeah, you sent that around. That is just
Don't say
incredible.
I sent it around. I didn't do anything.
No. That appeared on my website.
Well, it came to me on Facebook Messenger. Even though Facebook is whatever, we can complain about it, it's also a wealth of information in the private messages, because I must have 50 people that are constantly barraging me with links, and I won't download anything, but I'll look at most everything for at least 30 seconds. And I don't want to watch fear porn. I don't want to watch, I'm sorry to say, predictions or emotional feelings, whatever. I want details, facts. And I watch the Congress and the Senate. I've never been like this in my life, but I want to know what's literally happening, boots on the ground in that place they called Washington, D.C. Is it really happening in the White House? I don't know. Is it happening across the street with that stage? I don't know. But we do know that there's huge fencing to protect the White House because they're worried about enemies, like all people maybe. And Mr. Biden is spending America's tax dollars to build a $500,000 huge fence around his private beach house or whatever the house is on vacation over there in the East Coast. But, $500,000 of our money to protect his vacation house from what? People mad at him for what? I don't know. But my money, my tax dollars, and what I'm seeing now, because I am luckily attracting patriot groups to invite me to their meetings. And boy, there's a lot of us everywhere, and you'd never know. And now that we've met, it'll be more fun to see them in the grocery store or, driving down the road and having new friends where we've been so
Oh,
Sorry.
where we've been so separated that it's really nice to be brought back together.
yeah, and but now it appears. It's funny. I think it was. I'd like to mention that one of the things that I did this month. This is NaNoWriMo month, November 2020. Every November is National Novel Writing Month. And I just found out about NaNoWriMo a couple of days before November 2021. And the whole deal is that you have to write a 50,000 word novel in the month of November. So I jumped in and I did that. And I finished my 50,000 word novel by November 12th. And 300,000, right. And if you want to become a novelist, start taking C60. Let me tell you.
I'll have to try that, Alfred. I had started a book a long time ago called Good Health Through Age 120, and I had 2 years worth of work in it, and sent a synopsis to a doctor, and within 24 hours, my computer crashed. It was unretrievable, and I was depressed for 6 months, and I never continued again with that.
No, you can't.
That
There
hurt.
was some interdimensional, so get back on top. There's a spirit in there that wants out. And but we all have such power power that I often wonder what's going to keep all the people that are like all the creepy crawlies, all the negative people that are behind this. And every day we see so many articles that have all of their faces, they've all been named. Like our tribunal issued an indictment on November 15th, 2020, and had a trial on November 29th, 2020 of all of these people. We sort of rang the bell for the planet. And the cat has been belled. I mean, nothing against cats, but everybody knows who's behind it. I mean, all the people that are caught are behind it. So if we get together now, and in 2022, we're relentless. The reason why I brought up my novel, I just want to say this simply, is that part of the plot of the novel it's sort of a blur where reality ends and the novel begins, But in 2022 is when the timelines, the organic Earth timeline and the AI artificial timeline separate. I.e., there's a critical mass that comes up. There are different types of people now. There are people whose souls are divine oriented and organically oriented toward Mother Earth. And then there's people inside human bodies that have archonic souls that are oriented toward the invading artificial intelligence and toward Luciferic diabolical. And in the novel, what happens is that a critical mass is reached such that the timelines separate. And actually, in real fact now, it's like two species that are coexisting on a planet.
It really is.
And
The Borg.
and yeah, the Borg. And we and so the issue is the Earth slowly going to separate into two holograms, one which is AI and one which is a genuine Earth, into two timelines. And that's coming up in 2022. So I am going to be promoting my novels, and I've already started on novel number 2.
Awesome.
Wow.
It's a great sport. It's a great sport. And let me tell you, if Ernest Hemingway had gotten hold of C60, he would still be around writing novels. Let me tell you.
That you know what, that brings up something I wanted to bring up about C60, Evo, because it was one of the things that really impacted me when I first saw. And correct me if I'm wrong, Patty, but your company was the original company that did the studies where the rats lived 90% longer than the untreated rats. So that's the kind of antioxidant levels that C60 has that will help you, because that's what's the problem with humanity and the planet for that matter, is we are bombarded with so much acidity that we need antioxidant relief, and that's what that does.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It also, that test was, they were hoping to find that C60 was toxic. It was a toxicity study in 2012 called the Paris Bhakti study, BAATI, if anybody wants to look into it. And yes, they did use our formulation, but they not only found 90% longer life in the test rats that took the C60 Evo and olive oil, they also died without tumors. At a very long distance test, sadly, they had to put the rats down. Why don't they just let them go out in nature? But it was a science lab, so the rats wouldn't die. It might have been even longer than 90%. But to die without tumors, when these rats typically, they measure tumor mass in Wistar rats. I'm sorry to say that they're bred for lab experimenting. And boy, our C60 Evo rats, they weren't with our company at all. We weren't even, it was just our lab that's been manufacturing carbon fullerenes and selling to research institutions around the world for 30 years, since 1991. But I have a new secret. Chris and I, my partner, one of them, used to do shows, and he'd always talk about putting coconut oil, MCT coconut oil, in his morning coffee. And I've avoided it until recently, because the olive oil holds so much more ESS60, pure C60. This holds 0.8 to 0.85 milligrams per milliliters. Coconut holds 0.3 to 0.35 milligrams per milliliters of C60. So no matter how much you pour in the batch, it's just going to fall to the bottom. Spin it for 3 weeks, like all the batches, all the flavors, and coconut oil, no matter how much raw powder you put in, it will only hold 0.3 approximately, whereas olive will hold 0.8. So here I am thinking, I miss the olive oil because I forget sometimes. I try to take it before noon with food and water for best absorption and also digestion. So take it with food and water, preferably before noon, and you'll have sustained energy all day long. You'll sleep better at night, and then you take it again the next morning if you like what you're getting. So now I put the coconut oil in my morning coffee because my morning coffee is my fiesta. I wake up, yay, I lived another night. I am so celebrating life. And I try and eat something like real food before I let myself have coffee. But my coffee, Chris laughs at it's like a swimming pool. I do a really big cup of coffee and I put really amazing things in it. It's called the Silver Bullet. Everybody's got their way to do it, but all organic. And now I add MCT coconut oil. And because I know it's got less than half the ESS60 in it, I spill it. And then I look at it and I go, well, and I spill a little bit more. I don't even use a spoon. And I am so much happier with the soft buzz. It's like an energy buzz, but it's my gosh, yeah, I haven't even done the olive oil since I started my mornings, but I am on my third bottle in maybe a month and a half. So but I take more C60 ESS60 than anyone I know. So of course I'm going to spill it and then spill it again. And I will say
Well,
that
coconut oil is really good for you anyway.
I know. And I think I'm enjoying the benefits of that also because, needless to say, man, I have tested this little 5'2" body. I had a Harley that with gas weighed 800 pounds. I don't know what I was thinking. 50,000 miles. I mean, I was little teeny girl cross country, no helmet, just,
Wow.
and both my shoulders went down. I had to sell the bike and barely move my arms or wave, for about a year. But oh God, I mean, what I put my body through. So I look at this now and I just go, see, God loves me. I get to take as much as I want of this product.
That's excellent.
And
I got to tell you something, Patty, that I just ran into recently, and I'm going to be putting that on my website or my description in my videos too, and that is acid-free coffee. So, and that's a rarity. I've had low acid before, but this is a new acid-free coffee, and it has to do with the way they treat the beans. So that can make your coffee even more healthy because coffee is quite acidic, actually, which is one of our problems. But I'm sure the CEVO actually helps with that in that regard. But it tastes the same too. I've just tried it just recently, so I'm always looking for things that can help people because that's one of the areas also that is a problem at times. And I hear somebody's dog in the background. I hope it's not mine, but anyway.
Yeah, no, that's my little dog 7, and he's just outside, and
Oh, okay.
there's nothing I can do about it. I mean,
Oh no, but I'm lucky that mine's not doing the same thing right now. But anyway,
yeah,
I just
he
really,
just,
and I'm not kidding about it. I really appreciate this C60 product. And,
yeah. Actually, when Patty comes back, I could go out and bring 7 in because he will.
Oh,
He
there she
will,
is.
he will paradoxically stop barking when he comes back in. He hates to miss out on things. So
Yeah, mine. Like I said, mine could be doing the same thing.
so
But anyway,
I didn't know if you could hear it. So let me just go and bring.
oh, it's not that bad. It's just it's not
not
that bad.
Okay.
I wouldn't worry about it.
Okay.
We have our animals and we love them, and they're little fur angels. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Good. Well, look, it looks like we actually deconstructed the hidden war against humanity, nature, and Mother Earth. And I think it's consciousness and education
Yes.
about how we can just take what they're throwing and deconstruct it, so that ultimately they're on the run. You see, the fact that they have to war means that they're on the run, right? Isn't that it?
Where
They
the
lose
hunters-
anyway.
Where the hunters become the hunted.
Exactly. Exactly. That's exactly. You read my mind, Patty. I was trying to think of that.
I think the hardest thing is the separation of friends and family.
Yes.
And whoever
Yes.
planned this silent war was a master demon. You know, you look at how well they've infiltrated.
Lucifer.
They've infiltrated the media for so long. And when I listed just a couple of programs, if we listed Montauk and all the different mind control programs,
MK Ultra.
to realize we're dealing with a lot of those people today.
Voice to skull.
When Alfred was saying, you know, has this been planned for a long time? He's talking more eons, and I'm talking more decades or centuries. But I've never imagined humanity could have fallen this low. I choked over a sip of water. That's why I went off camera, and I'm still like recovering.
Oh,
Don't you love it when you do that?
okay. Yes.
Like,
Accidentally down the wrong throat, right?
yeah. So yeah, excuse me if I'm
Okay.
recovering. But I feel very strongly about the emotional component of how strong people feel about people that have a different feeling about the VAC thing. And also the election thing. It's like they were masters of propaganda to force people to hate each other.
Yes,
Good
definitely.
really
It's like
follow-
it's been a planet of hate instead of a planet of love, which is what we want. I mean, not that people don't break beyond that, but that's the type of propaganda that they propagate all the time, is hatred or division. And you know, it's the unveed to the veed, and the male to the female. I mean, it's all over. And one religion against another religion. I mean, it's all division
It's not
and
really male
and
against
hatred.
female. It's now male female against no gender at all.
Yeah,
Or
how does
most,
that work? I know.
and if you don't agree, you are a racist, a white supremacist, or this or that, or this or that. And if you can get the mockingbird media, you know, to repeat it enough times, then the confused people or the people that don't know because they haven't done any research, but they're sure loud when they yell at us, they're going to go, oh, I saw it on the news. So therefore. So we're dealing with a lot of being tested emotionally out in public. And that's one of the benefits, in my opinion, of the ESS 60 for me. I feel like it's made me a much nicer person. But I think also knowing that I've survived unbelievable things makes me really respect life even more. So even though there's a horrible silent war, I have really manicured my beautiful family. My friends have really started growing again because I'm not going into fear. And we all have a 24/7 choice to not go into fear and to stay really focused on how can I, especially when I'm on the air like this, be a positive force for nature and Mother Earth and all the people and all the wildlife. I mean, my God, I feel so bad about how the birds and wildlife have been dissipated because of all those different assaults by these very same people, which ends up being, oh, look at that small group of shitheads at the top. Yeah, so how hard can it be to do a final cleanup? Well, as long as we start at the top and work our way down. And I have to trust that if I'm meeting these amazing patriot groups that are happening now with a lot of people doing important things, recalls and busting and exposure. If I'm doing this and seeing it in my small little community or little Boulder, which is so unfortunately brainwashed. Oh my God, poor Boulder. But you know, we are watching history change. We are living through this incredible time, and I feel so lucky to be a part of it. But I'm also
Really?
complete news whore. Oh my God, I can't get enough. I cannot get enough watching things change because we know how bad it is. But what we want to do is just keep seeing these things happen in actual Congress and Senate and Supreme Court, God forbid. So tonight at midnight, love him or hate him, Mike Lindell is starting a 4-day truth seminar again about the AUDITS. And the evidence is, I don't know how many 100 pages long, but all the states basically have been clearly nailed. What's interesting is I live in Colorado, and he said right in this rundown of different states, and he said, in Colorado, it's so dirty that they actually deleted all of the machines. Like they cleaned every single one of them. Now, it's probably because they're not guilty, right? Just kidding.
Exactly. Well, look what happened. It all started here in Arizona, and they had devastating results, and they've hidden it, and they've delayed bringing it out. It's incredible to me that they've been managing to cover it up this long, and they keep delaying it and delaying it and delaying it and acting like, oh, it's everything's just hunky dory, and it's not. And the people in Arizona are angry about it. They really are. And that's what's happening is we the people are stepping up and saying, this ain't going to cut it anymore. We're mad as hell and we ain't taking it anymore. And that's a good thing. That's really a good thing.
This is making people watch. And smart people that have always been historians, which I haven't, said to me, oh, this happened 20 years ago and 40 years ago, and it's always happened through history that blah, 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 and the people revolt, and, you know, but not like this. This is definitely historic when you've got perhaps a communist country taking over our elections and our policies and our politicians and our electric systems, and these 5G towers come from Huawei, China. And the movie I just watched was The Truth About WUHAN. Oh my God, the evidence is so here.
It's overwhelming.
It's overwhelming. It's inexcusable that they own the news. And that's how you control the public's stupidity, is you own the news, you own what they learn. And that's what happened to America. When we get to the other side of this, the main way they got away with it is they own the news. But they also owned the rock star vibe. And when did they take over and put garbage in? I like big butts and I cannot lie. I mean, my kids.
They infiltrated everything.
25 years ago, the stupidity was starting to be pumped at them. Hammer, hammer. I mean, the rap, hate, motherfucker. You know, it's just like.
Yeah. Oh, that was the most disgusting.
And then the movies.
Verbiage.
Now, when I look at Netflix choices, I just finally hooked up TV after, I don't know, 15, 20 years. I think I've watched 2 hours in a month total.
I don't even have one.
I haven't had one in so long, but I want to know why a lot of smart looking people are so brainwashed, are so completely not only brainwashed, but forcefully angry at those who aren't.
And the other thing of it is that you covered the music area and the media area, but in the health area, this is another area where they did the major propaganda with safe and effective, safe and effective, safe and effective. Bull. It's never been safe and effective. It's never even been tested because they never tested one against the other. It was always whatever we say goes, basically.
The worst thing happening now is that they're not letting the truth come out, which is once you've had it, you won't get it again. That's
what a lie that was. And what are the hospitals being filled up with right now?
Oh my God, the charts are so fake.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the problem is, and you can't talk about it because there's a lot of people that would be mad at you for talking about it.
Yeah. And then the numbers about the deaths. I mean, somebody was asking me that just recently. I said, well, if you were in a motorcycle accident, you died of it. If you had a heart attack, you died of it. But what happened to the flu, colds and flu last year? All of a sudden it disappeared. What? Wait a minute. Okay. How do you explain all that?
My
You
favorite,
manipulate the numbers.
my favorite was 2 guys died in a meth lab explosion. Cause COV.
Yeah.
Meth lab blew up. Oh, I'm sure. So
Right.
what we need to do is take care of our own home, but also not be lazy. Even though we have a system that wants to pay you to stay home and be lazy, get some diet cola and a big bag of chips with lots of olea. Oh,
Oliac.
the worst thing in the
That.
world you can put in your body, I heard recently. But
Mhm.
it's like I think the most shocking thing was when that poor, see, I shouldn't say anything political, but when something recently happened and what appears to still be an innocent young guy, 17, turned 18 by the time the trial quit torturing him, but he was set free because he probably was innocent. But what the heads of this country said, without seeing the evidence, because they didn't need the evidence, no matter guilty or innocent, they told the people of this country, both the head and the co-pilot of this country right now, and I can't even say their names. I'm so tired of this, but they
Isn't it
told the
sickening?
people to go out and riot. They told Americans to get in the streets and riot. So all their boys and a few girls from BLM and Antifa got their guns, got their whatever they bring weapons because, oh, it's encouraged in America. And out they went. And there were all these riots. And nobody knows. Nobody knows they're rioting in all these cities. The damage that was just done. And because these cities are being run by paid off, dirty politicians, those people did not get arrested. They didn't get arrested. But what I like is that all of a sudden, today was another day in our courts, there's starting to be outcomes where the judge is actually correct and
Boy,
fair.
isn't that a rarity?
Oh, look,
Yeah.
it's touching my heart. Where the judge is correct and fair, where there's not a gun to the back of his head from the mafia saying, don't be a good American. You do what you're told. And all of a sudden it's not happening. So I'm watching, like I said, really intellectual people, not anything woo-woo. I want evidence and data. But when it comes to health, like you're saying, Gail, data is so manipulated. Oh my God, why even bother?
Yeah.
It's so sad. But when we get to the other side and I see it, and I keep focusing, not at the end of a long stick with a carrot, but right here is a full buffet any day. I'm not letting go of that until the day, God forbid, something happens where I don't have a choice. But right now, today, I have a choice. And I am so deeply grateful every day that I do.
And I think that choice will continue. I really do, because there are a lot of scare tactics that are going on right now. Well, they're going to come knocking at your door and they're going to force it on you and they're going to do this and they're going to do that. Not in America, people. We kept our guns. And that's one of the reasons why this country hasn't been invaded.
What's going on
They
in
know.
Australia? How can that be fair? Like, how can that be fair? You're right. We're lucky. We still have our guns, but how can they be doing this? Because they're out in the ocean?
Admiralty law, maybe? No.
Austria, too. It's like
Mhm.
those people are putting out an SOS because the big people that are being paid to be awful have cut off the internet. Like they're cutting off their communications, which is so Nazi, which is
Mhm.
so see communist. It's like, what the, we cannot let this happen. So
The
when
whole COVID is show me your papers. Show me your papers. What's the
Well,
difference?
it's all fake, and they're manicuring the numbers to keep people scared, which is so unfair. And for me, seeing people in masks, I think, is the most unappealing thing I've ever seen in my whole life. To do this for children, I think those people need to be slapped and whipped who are making this happen for children. And I'm sorry, I don't believe maybe in an eye for an eye, or maybe I do, but I think that the people behind making these mandates go on and on and on when the pandemic has been over. I'm sorry. It's only not over because they're faking all this stuff. And I live in a town that supposedly has 70 or 80 people, 80% of the people have chosen to be part of the experiment. Well, good for them. I don't have a judgment. But when I went to the post office the other day, the line was long and slow. And I said, if you have anybody else, it'd be nice because there's a line, And she said, oh, I just got back from, being away with the COV thing. And she said, everybody in the post office has it. Now, the first place my brain went, but not my mouth, because I know better, is, wow, it must be awful that all of you that took that experimental thing are all now sick. So there's that. Yeah, Alfred?
Yeah, I wanted on that note to also say that we've reached the magic 60-minute mark, but the continent of Africa
Yes.
only has 6% of the entire population of the continent of Africa has taken the jab,
And they're not sick.
and there is no pandemic in the continent of Africa.
Well,
This is amazing, isn't it? I've heard
It's
too,
just
though, that all these
done.
numbers are exaggerated in terms of the number that they say have gotten it too. So,
Oh yeah, sure. No, this is a total information war,
yes,
propaganda war, mind control war, and we're in the epicenter of it, which is in Northern Europe and in the U.S. If you look at Deagle.com website, DEAGEL.com website, which is taken down, but which I brought up at the 2018 5G summit, the population of the United States was 330 million in 2017 and was projected at 99 million in the year 2025. So the projection of the controllers is to reduce the population of the United States by 2/3. And as of January of this coming year, will be 2/5 into that 5-year term. So my thing is, let's all stay awake, let's turn it on its head, and let's go after them.
yes, definitely.
Yeah.
That is definitely what we need to do. And,
So,
like Margaret
yeah.
Mead always said, a small group of very determined people can make all the difference in the world. I don't know. That's not exactly how it was said, but that's basically what she meant.
Oh, yeah. I once spent a very nice ride in the back of a limousine with Margaret Mead arguing about the existence of the soul.
Arguing about what?
The existence
What?
of the soul.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Something to be said about being a lawyer and a judge and a writer and almost 80. He has
and a 5-planet Gemini. Sorry.
That must have something to do with it.
It's basically a 5-planet Gemini, which is you're like this little bird that goes from flower to flower.
Well, I can't say I've sat still very much my whole life, but now I'm a bird with a bended wing. And, when you don't move your body as much as you used to, where do you put all that energy? So I'm
there you
loving
go.
my brain. I'm loving my life. I'm loving my family more than ever in my home. And as we move into Thanksgiving tomorrow, I want to encourage everyone to really be thankful for what you have today, for the people in your life, for the love that you have in your own heart, for your family, your friends, and especially for the world. Because if we stay here in our home like they want us to and be paid by the government to stay home and get fat and do whatever, I encourage all of us to get out and do something important to help save the world, because each and every one of us is extremely important now. And if you're worried about your health and you want to boost your immune system, the three of us all take C60 Evo every day. And the olive oil is super strong. But if you want to take it in the morning and have it be ridiculously delicious, you'll have to take twice as much to get the same bump, but I don't mind, small price. And my morning coffee recipe is silver bullet. I heat up my glass while the coffee is sitting over there, steeping and getting nice and strong. I put boiling water in my cup so the cup stays hot longer. And then when I've got a hot cup, I put in a good sized tablespoon of local honey. I do 7 shakes of cinnamon, organic everything. That's a lot of cinnamon, but I don't taste it. I just love it. And for some reason, I'm craving it. So there's something about cinnamon. I bought like 6 bottles of it, just to be sure I don't run out of God
Helps
forbid.
control your blood sugar.
It does something that's good for me. And then I also melt either ghee or grass-fed butter. And I put in way too much ESS 60 because, God, it feels good. And then I, what do you call it? Froth my whipping cream. My coffee is such a party in a cup. And
Wow.
it just starts my day in such a sweet way. And now that I do the coconut oil in it, I'm like benefiting so many things. And I'm really noticing that I like it better than the Big Boost olive oil. So, for me, it's a winner. That's my new winner.
Well,
Happy
that's wonderful.
holidays, everyone, from me.
Yes. And may your holidays be filled with love and gratitude, two of the most important feelings and expressions that you can provide to humanity and the planet and consciousness in general. And we have proof of that with the crystals that are formed when those words are written on water, which our body consists 70 to 80% of. So that's my message, is love and gratitude and this Thanksgiving. And I do everything that I do. I'm not paid for what I do, but I do it because I enjoy it. I love it. And I have the opportunity now as a retired person, even though I work 24/7 sometimes at things, but you have to love it in order to do that. And I do. And I hope people do appreciate what I do, because I do work hard at it.
We appreciate you. And Alfred's code is
Thank you.
down below, but no matter what, our website is C60Evo, like evolution.com. And like I said, if you want to support Alfred, it's always EV, our EVO, first 2 letters, and then their initials. So Alfred is EVALW, and Gail is EVGG. So we want to support our influencers because they do take time and they work really hard. But again, what great work where you can sit and talk to who knows what country. It's so nice. We're just live putting it out and just being the best versions of ourselves. What you got, Alfred, for your Thanksgiving?
Well,
Loving.
we had our Canadian Thanksgiving in in October.
Oh,
So we did a complete Canadian Thanksgiving. It looked very much like the US Thanksgiving, but it happens in October, just a different part of the season.
interesting. All right. Well,
I
I
didn't
thank
realize that.
you guys for showing up and bringing whatever we have to give people faith.
Oops.
I know you always have to
Yeah.
twist it and turn it. But again, I
Right.
every time I come into a show, I want to stay super positive because I like my name, Patty Positive. But I think that every day when we wake up, if we're in that fear of, life and somebody coming to hurt us or hurt our friend, we're going to live with that. And if we choose to treat ourselves well and do the best we can to keep our body healthy and think good thoughts, we're going to have a much happier life.
Indeed.
Yes, 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 yes. Somebody once said that it's not love as being the opposite of hate. It's actually the opposite of fear, and fear is a big problem for everybody. So
False
staying out of
evidence
fear and
appearing
staying
real.
positive is absolutely critical.
Amen.
Exactly.
All right, guys.
Okay.
Teamwork.
Stay here just a minute so we can plan our next month.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. Stay
Thank
well,
you.
stay healthy, and maybe treat yourself to some C60 Evo or gift it out to all your friends. We have a whole area. It's called gift sets on our website, and it's on top of our store. But we send them out wrapped, really pretty. And you save money when you buy a gift set. You save 20% more if you sign up for a monthly subscription. And if you don't really want it monthly, but you want the deal, you can cancel, after you get your first order, that you don't need monthly subscriptions, no problem. But there's all kinds of ways to save money. And then you can use Gail or Alfred's code at the checkout to save just a little bit more. And we're here to serve. We love all of you. Thank you both. Mwah. Happy
Thank
Thanksgiving.
you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.